Hello, Linux learners. This is George with a very special episode today and a very important one. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about permissions, what they are, how to read them. No real typing today. And if you want to fire up your VM and follow along, that's definitely not a bad idea. But really, I want to talk about what everything means. And then maybe next time we can start messing around with the permissions. But okay, so you'll notice here, let me just clear this stuff out here. Let's see. All right, it's clear out of there. Let's CD back to our home directory. All right. Now, if you remember, if you do an ls, all you see are just the names of the files, right, or directories. But when you do ll or ls space -l, which is long list, now you have a lot more information. So let's talk about each of these columns and how you should train your eyes to look at this. Okay. This very first column has a D. All right. You can see that. I'm going to try and highlight that. Come on. Yeah. Wow. You get it. There it is. So the D indicates directory. So we know that this file that we're looking at is actually a directory. If there were just a dash there, it would be a file. Simple, straightforward. Then the next 9 slots are actually the actual permissions themselves, like what your permission is on the permission levels on each file. But I want you to segment these into batches of 3, right? So you have this RWX here. Then you have this R dash or -X, and then R-X. So start training your eyes to see it in that way. Now, this first segmentation, this RWX right here, are the permissions that are given to the user, or like another way to put this is the owner of the file. Whoever created the file is the user of the file. And they have RWX, read, write, and execute permission. The next 3 are for the group, whoever the group owner is. And they have read, and whoever's part of the group, I should say. They have read and execute permissions to just can't write to the file. And then last are users. So like, if you know, Linux is a multiple user operating system. So if I log in to this system, I can read and execute whatever that file is. I just can't write into it, okay? So those are your 3 segmentations that indicate the user/owner of the file, the group ownership of the people that belong to a particular group, what they can do. If you're used to like Active Directory in Windows, it'd be like the equivalent of the users having group policy to be able to do whatever. And then finally, the users. These are all other people that sort of log into the system with their username and look at files, okay? And if you keep reading over, you're going to notice this live user right here. This is the owner, or the user. Those can be confusing right there, but this first set of permissions right here, RWX, right? The user, aka the owner of the file, the person that created it. This next column here, live users, also the name of the group. So the people that belong in live user group, whoever they are, get read and execute permissions, right? And all others, which aren't listed here, right? Because it means all others. Anyone else that logs into the system has read and execute permissions on this. Then here you have the size in bytes, 4096, and you have the date of creation and the time of creation and the name of the directory right here. So let's just start there for today. One last thing, actually, just so you can have a good view of this. Let's change directories into bands, and let's long list what's in there. You have Metallica. It's a file. How do I know that? Look at the first column. It's a dash, right? It's not a D. If it were a D, it'd be directory. Because it's a dash, it's just a file. Same permissions. The first segment of 3, RW dash, means read, write, and that's it. So I hope you find this useful. If you have any questions, ask in the comments.